Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Storm and today I am going to be showcasing basically all of the art that I have done throughout high school, and this is part 2 with my junior and senior years of art. There's not as much art as compared to my freshman and sophomore years, so yeah. Okay, so first piece of my junior year, which is this one. This was done in art class, and basically getting back into the swing of things. So this basically what we had to do was draw what we thought our animal side looked like, I guess, or whatever. I personally like lions a lot, but I didn't want to be basic, so I chose a different animal instead. I chose an owl. I'm pretty proud of how this turned out, and yeah, I mean, no whole lot to say about it. That's me. And we did it in colored pencil, because again, this was art 3. Yeah, this was art 3. So we didn't do a whole lot of drawing and stuff in art 3. We did a lot more physical stuff. I made quite a bit of physical stuff back in junior year because I took art class and then also took a digital, I forget the name of it, but it was basically a manufacturing type class where we made a bunch of products. But yeah, this was the first thing that we ended up doing. Okay, so next thing that I'm showing, this was part of the digital class that we did. This was not art class. Basically, we were messing around in CorelDRAW for the first time, and so we made like an alien creature thing. That's basically it. There's not a whole lot to this one. But next is another art class. This is my second art class piece, where we were basically drawing a bunch of cameras. Our teacher had brought in a bunch of old cameras and filming equipment, and we were just told to collage a bunch of cameras together, and this is basically what I ended up coming up with. This was an actual camera, this was an actual camera, this was an actual camera, and back here was an actual camera. Everything else I freestyled and did on my own because I thought the composition looked cool. And I, again, also really like how this turned out. We were also supposed to be doing it in black and white, so there's limited color, minus the yellow and the black that make everything like pop out, which I really like. I'm really proud of myself. I'm really proud of this. Back over here is like Damien and Serial. I did like Damien and Serial there. Xerophone and Crowley, as you see in another photo, is like right there. And then also there's like a Tangled. Shoot, what's the thing called? Tangled cassette, movie cassette right there. Now, this, okay, also some of these, I tried to get it as in order as possible, but I don't remember everything, and there's a bunch of stuff that is like digital that I'm gonna pull up next, like in the second part of this. So I'm just doing this in various order. Anyway, this was our first Adobe Photoshop assignment that we ended up doing. Not Photoshop. Adobe Illustrate, as well as, I forget what it's called, but you basically hot press your design onto a thing. And this is mine. I basically just drew circle, and then I got like a picture of someone's eyeball, and then made an angel thing. It's much more like vibrant and stuff in person, but yeah. Next thing I think is this postcard that we ended up doing. Again, this was in my digital visualization class. Intro to some, I forget what the freaking thing was called, but basically we made like a postcard, and we had to, we didn't end up getting these until like later after we did the original print, because we were going to be actually mailing these to our house, to our parents, and I wrote a little message on the back for my dad that isn't that interesting. But yeah, this was, we also had to technically make it inspired by an actual place, but which technically, this is a stretch, kind of inspired, but most of it is fictional, because I mean, I don't think the Space Center in Lancaster, England, actually looks like I know for sure that it doesn't look like this. I've never been there, but I know it doesn't look like this. They don't have like pictures of what is probably like poorly photoshopped space picture. Also, what kind of sucks, I'll learn about this now. The blues are not as textured as they are in the original picture, because printing. People who do prints and stuff will understand. But yeah, I thought it was a cool postcard that I could just make up stuff for because I love making like fictional fan art stuffs. Now this next one, I don't exactly know when exactly we started doing this. This definitely was not a beginning of the year thing. This was more like towards the end of the year, I think. But this was for Spanish class. We had read Esperanza in class, and we were told to make a booklet from it. This is the cover. I got an A on this. I got an A on it, which is nice. I'd actually been sick whenever we went to go do this project, so I ended up staying home, and I had to kind of like rush through this because this was technically supposed to be due in a day. The entire thing was supposed to be due in a day, but I ended up doing it over the weekend. If you want to read what I wrote and see my probably not greatest Spanish, then go ahead. Other than that, I like the pictures I did. I especially like the cover. I like how I did the cover. I was gonna staple this. We were technically supposed to, but I didn't have time to, so it's just not. Also, I was scared that some of the stuff I was writing would have got cut off if I did, but funny enough, reading this book made me want to learn more about Guatemala specifically, and my hope is to, I know compared to like other Latin American countries, the accent isn't as prominent, I guess, at least according to my understanding, but I think at least what I know about Guatemala, it's very pretty, and the place very pretty, and like the Mayan culture is pretty rich, and like the indigenous cultures there is pretty rich. So yeah. So far, because I live in the United States and the closest Latin American country is Mexico, my vocabulary in Spanish is very much all over the place, and I very much do sound like a person who is literally learning Spanish from a textbook, because that is essentially what I'm doing, and it sucks, but I'm trying. Next is this acrylic painting I did in not English class, what am I talking about? In art class. I didn't like this painting originally as much. I think it's okay. I like it more now than I did when I originally finished painting it. I got so fed up with it that I stopped. But I like how the heart turned out. I like, there you go, focused. I like how the heart turned out. I like the detailing of it. I think it looks really cool. The skeletons, they're okay. I like my little guy. He's like, that's me, by the way. He's very simple. And I think the tree shading is okay. It's very blotchy, and it doesn't, I feel like it's very flat in comparison to like the tree and everything else, but kind of a lot of it looks flat. Also, I was painting with kind of bad brushes. Art class doesn't really have the greatest of brushes, and also I learned I don't really like painting on canvas because I feel like I can't get, maybe I just need to I feel like I can't get smooth lines like I want. That might just be a me thing though. Next, we've got like a series of history projects we ended up doing. We did quite a bit of art stuff in history. Basically, I think we had to do, this was a project on reasons why. We had to make the middle colonies seem enticing to come and grow, or like whatever colonies, or we thought we had to make an advertisement for it, for this one, basically choosing which side we wanted to be on. I think we could choose either England, either a different colony, England, or something else. I forget, but I like how it turned out. The only reason why I ever draw anything even remotely political or remotely surrounding the United States in this way is literally because of history class or government, which I'll show you later, which we didn't do a whole lot of stuff for government. So next was this Andrew Jackson for, again, AP History. AP US History. We had to decide whether or not we either make a hero poster for Jackson, or you make like a wanted poster for Jackson. I chose a wanted poster because fuck that guy. I hate him. Hate him so much. I cannot express how much I hate Andrew Jackson. I hate him. Anyway, I made a wanted poster because fuck that guy. And I got a good grade for it. And as much as I hated that guy, I made him look... I put my fucking all in this, and I don't know why. I don't know why. He looks good, and I hate him. I hate him. Anyway, next, another history thing. During the war, Hawks against Britain. Again, I think we had to make one either for Britain or against Britain, and I chose against Britain. Again, the only time you will catch me doing stuff like this is for class. You will not catch me doing this outside of class for funsies. But I love how it turned out. I think I did really good with it, actually. I used crayon. It's probably obvious, but I used crayon, and then I used these little pens I have that my grandmother got. Cree cut liner pens. They're pretty good. They're like I think they're 0.5, but they're pretty good. I like them. Again, had to do a bunch of writing on the back. But yeah, I like how it looks. I'm proud of it, especially the hands, specifically this hand. This one's okay. I think it's a bit big, but I like this one. I like how the guy looks. I like how I did. I think I did good. Another one. This time we had to pick a person from history. I think we had to pick some person from history and then draw them, and then give them a superpower. Basically, we created our own historical hero from real people. And I chose Harriet Tubman for probably obvious reasons. I mean, I look white, but I'm very much mixed. But I chose Harriet Tubman, and she was basically kind of like Moses in a way. I think it said when I was reading at some point that she was kind of like Moses. So, yeah, I think it looks good. I can't believe we didn't have a lot of time to do this project as much as we had the other ones. Otherwise, I probably would have done a much better job. I think this was also later in the year, so like my inspiration to kind of keep putting my all into like school was kind of dwindling, like it kind of is now. Just a little bit, I can't lie, just a little bit. Next, this was earlier in the year, I think. This was later in the year. This was again Spanish class. Basically this was after we got back from our winter break. We're told, Spanish teacher told us, hey, draw how your year was based on these prompts. If you had to give a visualization to your year for the most part. And we could do the assignment in English, so. Exploding donut, 2023 was, if 2023 was food, it would be an exploding donut. A bunch of cool stuff. If 2023 was a vehicle, it would be a truck or van. If 2023 was a sport, it'd be tennis. And if 2023 had to be a fictional character, I chose Cherry Bomb from Husband Hotel because that was the only character I could think of at the time to properly explain what I felt. So I like how she looked. I liked how it turned out. I haven't seen the actual show of Husband Hotel, and I don't know if I will. Maybe not. Who knows? Oh, also another thing. We had our own Spanish names in Spanish 3, which I thought was super fun. I loved that idea. And mine was Angel. for other obvious reasons. I like Good Omens. So next, this one is one of two of my Palestinian genocide related art pieces that I ended up doing. Funny enough, this art piece got me sent to the counselor's office because my art teacher was concerned for my mental health. He thought this was about abortion, and it very much was not. He thought this was about abortion. It is not. I guess not to get political or whatever, but pro-choice. If you don't want to have a child, you don't have to have one. But anyway, he thought this was originally about abortion, so he sent me to the counselor's office to have me talk about it with the counselor. It was not. This is about Palestine, and this was about the list of the thousands of children killed. I made a comic about it. I also have another one, which was a skeleton one. I'll show that at the end. It's currently in my sister's room, and I don't feel like going in there and showing it. It's hung up on her wall. I also have another art piece that I did towards... I also have another art piece that was towards the beginning of the year. That's also in my sister's room, and you'll see that at the end. It's a pretty boring piece. It's pretty looking, but it's boring. Next, I have a few other things from my junior year, but this was some of the final things I ended up doing. We had to create a list of 24 great rhetorical devices to use in your writing. Basically, we had to create a booklet of rhetorical devices and then draw them. My teacher liked it, and that's all I care about. I got 100. I think I did pretty good. Crowley, obviously, look at him. Temesis, or whatever the thing is. Someone get this guy brown eye contacts, please. Staring into my soul. Buckeyed Mr. Brown. Ew. I'm saying ew because I read nails on a chalkboard and made me cringe because I thought of it. Anyway. But yeah, that's that booklet. Short, simple, it took me forever. Oh, and also I hand sewed this. This is yarn, by the way. I hand sewed this. This took me like 2 hours to do. Just this took me like 2 hours, crazy. And I did it with a pencil because I didn't have an actual sewing utensil thing to use. And I put myself through 2 hours of torture for an English assignment. I will do it again. I can't even say I can't. I would do it again. Now I'm going to talk about other stuff I did in both in art class and in my manufacturing class that before I move on to like senior stuff. Next up, just move stuff so I have more room. Next up is we made our own little cup. And then we made like little designs for it. And I made a Stizzy. I made a Gentle Hands cup, which we ended up doing that in Corel Draw, and I did like a fake out. I did like not a fake. I did like an outline of the characters' faces, and then I just filled them in, I think, or something like. I forget what exactly I did, but anyway, how are you still alive? I cannot say. I do ask myself that question every day. Damn bars. But yeah, I made myself and our flag means. Myself and our flag means death related cup because why the hell not? Why not? And I like how it turned out. Next I have my socks I made. We made socks at one point. And yes, we did the design. I did the design myself. I did the eyes on Procreate, and then I did the coloring and everything else, and I think it was Corel Draw. So yeah, I love these socks so much. The actual material is kind of cheap, just a little bit, but I absolutely adore these socks, and I like how they turned out. As you can see, they're starting to wear at the heels and the feet because I've been wearing them, obviously. I got them cleaned a little bit ago, a few days ago. Next we have the pins I made. If you followed me on like Instagram, or I don't know if I posted on Tumblr, but on like Instagram and stuff, then you've already seen basically all the pins I made. But I have these three pins I kept, and then I had two more. One I made for a friend, and the other one I made for my partner. And yeah, I'll put them up here. I'll put them on the screen or somewhere. But yeah, I like how they turned out. I want to make more pins because why not? These are so much fun to make. Oh, I don't know where it is. I also have a Palestinian one. I have a Palestinian one of these too. I didn't give that away, but I have no idea where it is. Again, I'll put it up on screen. It's here somewhere in the house, but I have no idea where it is. Okay, next we have this bunny thing we made in the digital class, same class I made the buttons over there. There's also a heart one that I have no idea where it is in my house. We ended up, these are 3D printed, they're cookie cutters. So technically I could have bunny cookies and heart cookies, but I don't know I have no idea where my heart cookie cutter is. I don't know if I gave it to a friend or no, but whatever. That's that. Then also, my necklace that I wear every day, my blue necklace, I made this in digital class as well. You would have seen this already if you followed me on Instagram. But I fucking love this necklace so much. I'm so happy with how it ended up turning out. I'm so proud of myself for it too. But yeah, it's like my favorite necklaces of like the three I wear. And then finally, I have a bunch of pottery stuff. I gave a few away to my friend, so I don't have all of it. But these are like the pottery things. This one holds my soap because I don't have like a soap holder. The second one I made. We were supposed to number these, but I ended up forgetting. Pottery was fun. I want to do more of it, but it's hard. It's a hard thing to do. This was a little mug that I made. It's not great. This was the fifth one. Honestly, it might not have been, but who knows if it was. The mug is really small. It's very small for a mug. You can put like a little bit of tea in it, but that's about it. It's also really thick. So this thing ain't shattering. The handle might, but the mug is not. This is another one, small little mug thing. I could probably put like plants and stuff in here. I could make like small plants, put them in here at some point, but right now I don't have the necessities of which to do that. Otherwise, I would have already done it. And then finally, this small little thing. I think this was like, my first one that we ever did. It's hard to see. But yeah. Oh, and one last thing. This was one of our big art pieces that I made. I have no idea if I showed it on Instagram or not, but I'm super proud of it. It's my big sculpture, bottle sculpture. I'm so proud of it. I spent so much time on this, and I would love to put it somewhere where it's actually visible. I would also love to like Mod Podge it and whatnot, so that like the paint and stuff doesn't chip like it's already like it has already. But I'm so proud of how this ended up turning out, and I'm proud of the little guys. This is Virgil, and then we have like Wesley and stuff. But yeah, it's a mismatch of a bunch of like fan art and stuff with Crowley, and then the wings for Xerophone Crowley, and then and then the flower base, which was just for funsies, because I thought I would look cool. But yeah, that is pretty much that's pretty much all we have left. All I can really remember of all the artwork that I ended up doing. Oh wait, what am I doing? I actually do have one last thing. I'm a big dum-dum. This was only my junior stuff. I'm dumb. But yeah, there will be a second part. There will be an extra part, the video's not over yet, of me doing stuff for all the stuff that I wasn't able to show. But I'm going to move on to my senior stuff. This is one of the first things I made for senior year. I didn't take an art class this year because I wanted to go home early. I only go to school every other day because we have an 8 ABD schedule, but this is this is a thing. This is one of the first assignments we ended up doing for econ class. We basically had to take a job that we want to be in the future and then figure out its trajectory, what you all have to do, skills, qualifications, etc. Yeah, I chose Illustrator, obviously. I mean, may or may not be Illustrator, might be Animator, who knows, but I did like a little poster for it. I thought it looked cute. So Illustrator, we have the tasks, the skills, qualifications, and salary outlook, and then also here at the bottom we have like an asterisk because that's projected growth of the industry. But it says down here that because it talks about AI, although artists are like fighting AI, it could cause a potential decrease in the growth outlook or whatever. And I got a good grade on it. I got 100 on it. Next, I have a few things in my sketchbook, so you'll be able to see some of that. I have a few art pieces in my sketchbook that I did for school. First art piece that I did for school was this. This was for English class. We had to create our own story because we had finished reading Beowulf, and so we had to create our own hero's journey story. And we had to draw for it. We had to create characters for it and make sure we had like art and stuff for it. And so I have 3 characters from the story. This is Rosa. She's the main character of the story, and yeah, she is like a warrior. She's like a knight warrior thing, and basically a group of occultists had killed her family. Well, a man who is the leader of the cult killed her family, and so she went out when there were more attacks on other villages nearby. She went out to go and find and kill the leader. That was her goal. Although for the hero's journey assignment, she didn't kill the guy. He got arrested or whatever. But this is Rosa. I love her so much. I did like this. I was with a group of people, so it wasn't just me who was drawing the characters. I did come up with a lot of the design choices and stuff for the characters though. But we created like a big Pinterest board that has like what we wanted the character to look like. So we did work together on the character design. She has her own little helmet there's her own little spiky helmet, but I don't think she ends up using it at all. But yeah, I'm not good at drawing armor or anything like that, so the way this turned out was pretty good. Next, we have Rosa's best friend, Alias, which means sunshine. I think I just searched up sunshine or the sun or something like that. So we have Rosa and then her best friend Alias, and yes, I very much did take inspiration from Polites. A lot of people's Polites designs from Epic the Musical, because I love the bandana and the glass. I love the bandana and the glasses, and he also has a cape because because of course he would. He's like the comic relief sunshine character, short king. He has a similar outfit to Rosa. Just a little bit of small changes though here and there to make his outfit and stuff unique. He also has like a little harp that he plays like music on the journey. Although I don't remember if we wrote about him playing music, but yeah, I love him. I love them. And next, we have Cain. This is the main villain. He's the cultist guy. And we did like religious references. His name is Cain. I think he had a brother named Abel at one point, or something like that. But yeah, I like how he turned out. I gave him little like, what's his name from Spider-Man? Doc Ock. Little tentacle skeleton things. And no one has like superpowers in this world necessarily, because it is a hero's journey and it's based off like Beowulf, so no one has like magical powers necessarily, but he does have like a scientific mixing with religious imagery type thing, and I thought it looked cool. He was originally a priest. He wasn't always a bad guy, of course. I think his story was basically that he was once a good priest at one point, but then he ended up turning towards, he wanted to purify the world. That's essentially what he wanted to do, and the reason why he's doing the things he did is because he wanted to purify the world of all evil, because, I forget, I think he tried to help his village once to, you know, be good towards his original village and be good towards the people, but like, I think the king or whatever, I think his king at the time was opposed to that and would stop progress from happening. And so basically I think he ended up giving up on trying to be good in the sense of like helping people or something or other. The basic idea is he was good once, and then he wants to purify the world of all evil, which is something that Rosa also like kind of wanted to do. At the very least, she wanted to get rid of all evil, but she was like, no, I'm not going to stoop to your level. And then these are like the thumbnail sketches for what I wanted. I chose these two, which I'll show later on. I don't have the original pieces, they're with my teacher, but these were the two pieces I ended up going with. And I do plan on posting videos of them at some point eventually, so I look forward to that. Okay, next of the art pieces is these I did for Spanish class. I ended up cutting them out and then going over and then cutting them out and then gluing them in my sketchbook to like fill space so that I have them somewhere and they weren't just like sitting. So yeah, we were doing weather related stuff, so weather related vocabulary. Damien and Serial, and then, you know, Xerophone Crowley. Hurricane. Hail. Drizzle. Downpour, I think. Oh, that's coming out. Okay. Yeah, the glue stick that I have ain't the greatest. And then also have like spots that I filled in like extra space, but you'll get to see more, and I'll probably explain more of that later when I do my sketchbook tour. But yeah, the kids, I like drawing these. They were fun to doodle, even though there was a lot of them I had to doodle and draw. That one was inspired by Silent Hill. I think this is my favorite one out of all of them. Actually, no, this is my second favorite one. My favorite one is the Frost one, which is coming up. I like the character. I like how the character turned out, and I like how the tornado looked. I think it did a good job there. This one's also kind of pretty. There we go. I love how this. I love the little thing with the frost I did. It looks so good. And the weather guy. I'm really proud of how this. I like how this one turned out too. And I think that's the last one. So that's the last of the Spanish one, the Spanish homework ones. I have like one more thing that I did in my sketchbook, but it's out of my sketchbook at the moment, so I'll show you that in a moment. Next one is one of 3 art pieces I did for my school's magazine afterward. So this was a vaguely religious one. I think the prompt was karamobi or something like that. It was a Japanese word for basically sunbeams through the trees. But I did a vaguely religious one. It's one of the things I thought of. It was simple. It was easy to do. This was in watercolor. It took me like maybe an hour tops. It looks okay. It's okay. Next is this is not the finished piece. I did a digital render of this because I was originally trying to do this in gouache, and then I got tired of it. Kind of stupid of me to try and jump straight into gouache when I haven't painted in forever. But yeah, I love how the finished piece ends up turning out. I'll show it on screen here. I love how the finished piece turns out, and it's so pretty, so beautiful. This is me and my partner, by the way, and I just love it so much. And We haven't gotten, I don't know exactly which pieces and which like writings, because I also did writing for the magazine, got into the magazine, but yeah, I know something got in at the very least, because I have friends who told me that some of my stuff ended up getting in. Anyway, me and my partner, I love it. I love how it turned out. When I did the digital redraw of it. I'm so happy about it. And then now for the final physical pieces that I ended up doing for my senior year of high school, was a political cartoon. A political cartoon for my political science journal assignment that we did in class. It looks okay. It's pretty simple because I just wanted it to be simple so I could get it done and over with. But this is the only reason why this one is out of my sketchbook, is because I plan on giving it to my teacher because he wants it, and I'm fine with giving it to him. But I wanted to at least do this and show it off before I do. So that's pretty much everything that I can remember and think of all of the physical pieces of artwork that I actually have, the physical pieces of artwork that I have on me for both junior and senior year. And it's getting towards the end of the year, towards the end of the quarter, and I don't think that we're going to be doing anything more in class in terms of like any more big projects. But if there is, there will also be a short that I plan on doing later after the school year of showcasing all of my art that I've done in school. And I'll be going to college soon, so that's fun, that's exciting. I'll have a lot more art to show in college. But yeah, school's been really fun, and it's kind of wild to think that I'm graduating soon and turning 18 in May, and it's a lot to think about. It's kind of scary, but I don't think it'll be that bad. So yeah, I'm gonna move on and start talking about all the other stuff that I didn't end up showing, because either I don't have it or it's like digital. So yeah. Okay, so now we're on to the section where I show everything else that I couldn't show in the physical part. First part is, these are a bunch of notepads that I have that I made in my digital visualization class. I could have shown them in the original video, but I forgot they existed until like 2 days ago when I was frantically searching for my USB and almost had a meltdown because of it. So they're here. We had to make 4 notepads, and we had to make 4 notepads and 4 different designs. And technically I have 3 of each notepad because we had to cut them up into a certain amount of sections or whatever. And then we had to use this like pink glue adhesive stuff to stick it all together so it's like an actual notepad. It doesn't have adhesive in the top at the top of it like a sticky note does, but you can peel it off and tape it somewhere. I have a regular design. I have one that I made look like one of like Aziraphale's notebooks. I have one with Corey Kenshin that has a line that I find very funny for him, where he was like, I forget what the video was. Oh, it was a Five Nights at Freddy's security breach video when he was going to El Chips, and he was like, I know a little bit of Spanish. Bonjour. I don't know, I can't explain to you why that's so funny, but I made a little edit of him. And stuck it on a notepad. So the French flag is also in the background. And then finally, it was a random flower design that I just put together because it was one of the final projects that we ended up doing at the end of the year. Next up is a ornament we made around Christmas time in my digital visualization class. And I did it of the 2 creatures, the autism and the ADHD creature, and they are in love. And I love this I love this ornament. I got to put it on the Christmas tree last year. Yeah, I think it was last year. I was able to put it on the Christmas tree, and it looked very cute. I have it on like a string. I wanted to paint it, but I never did, so now it's just a wooden engraving thing. Next, more on the wooden engraving. We did a little bit on the engraving part. The same went to go for my necklace as well. I don't actually know if I have these sticks anymore. I have no idea where they are, but I do have pictures of them, and I made them of Damien and Sariel, the Black Bear family, essentially. So the front has my name, the back is the stick is an homage to the fictional family I adore that I created. Damien and Sariel and their kids. We have the fire, which is Callista, the star, which is Sariel, I believe, the bear, which is Damien, the flower, which is Eden, and then the musical notes, which, oh yeah, the star, because remembering my own fictional character's freaking storyline, yeah, the star, which is Sariel, the bear, which is Damien, the flower, which is Eden, and then the musical notes, which is Dakota, because he likes music. So yeah, it was just a cute little design that we ended up doing, I think in CorelDRAW, and then we imported it to the huge laser cutting machine that my high school has. I hope I get to do something else like that. If I take like a digital class like that, like a manufacturing class, I think that'd be so fun. That'd be so fun, because I liked being able to design little things like that, and like little products, and like the buttons I designed. Next we have the Palestine, the first Palestine drawing I did. This one was in my school's magazine last year, and I think I titled it something about the martyrs. And yeah, this was my first vent about Palestine. We had to do something with a skull, I think was the prompt, and so I did this, and I really like how it turned out. I loved doing the little bit of research that I did on this piece, because I learned that there's different prayer positions it makes sense, but different prayer positions compared to the stereotypical Christian one. Also, the correct way to draw a hijabi person, as well as looking up the Palestine's like a national symbol of Palestine, which is the poppy flower, and how it represents blood of martyrs, the ones who have fallen, as well as the hope that people have in Palestine for their land and for justice to be served. I thought it was very poetic, and I loved it, and I loved the idea of the people of Palestine being the seeds. As sad as it is, the very poetic that the martyrs are the seeds of the poppy flower, that they are their land, and being wrapped around a flower of their nation is it's beautiful. I really love how this piece turned out, and surprisingly enough, despite it, compared to the other comic that you saw, this one took a surprising amount of like emotional labor out of me to do. I can't fully explain why, but it did. Like, compared to the other one, it makes sense. That one definitely took a lot of emotional labor out of me, because I had to stare at the names and pick the names I wanted to write, and the names of the kids that I wanted to write on those gravestones, because it's unacceptable that this is even a thing, and that it's still going on even to this day. But I'm happy that I drew this, and I do want to draw more stuff like this in support, because it's a way for me to show my support, as well as create something beautiful. And like, literally, this was a vent. This was created out of my grief for the Palestinian people, for people experiencing genocide, and grief that I still hold now. And I just adored how it ended up turning out. And I had no idea that it would have gotten to my school's magazine, because I was not planning it to, because that is not why I created the piece. Next is more art class stuff. This was some of the other pottery I ended up making that I didn't show because I don't have it anymore. The one on the far left, I ended up sending to my friend. Actually, no, I think I sent both of these to my friend as like a birthday gift. Next is a gift for my partner that I made in my digital visualization class. He likes Hello Kitty and those species of, I completely forget what the characters are. Oh, Sanrio characters. And he really likes, I forget the pink character's name. But I found a little image of the character looking behind themselves. They weren't originally winking or anything, but I drew it because I thought I wanted the character to look sly and whatnot. And it's like a little keychain thing and says pretty boys love pink. And he's a pretty boy who loves pink, and I thought he'd really like that. It was also pretty fun to make too. Next, we have this piece, Chiaroscuro Whirlwind. It was a piece of writing that I did for my school's magazine last year. It didn't get in, probably because I slapped my name on it on the piece of writing, which I wasn't supposed. I slapped my name on the piece of art that I wasn't supposed to do that. Also, I was told that the writing was a bit too long for the magazine, which was another reason why it was cut. But I'm so like happy with how this piece ended up turning out, and I still want to read my own piece and like do like a small animatic of it at some point, because I absolutely love how the cover that I did turned out, but I also love how the writing turned out. I really liked the piece that I wrote because I wrote it in second person, which I absolutely adore second person, not just like fan fiction, your name, but like there are very few books that I've read that truly utilize second person, and there's only been one book, and as much as I love the idea, I didn't actually fully finish reading the book, but there has only been one like published book that I have seen truly utilize second person, and that is the most exciting potential book that I could have read, and I can't believe I never finished it. I had full plans to, but I didn't. I think it was about the character being transferred into some sort of game world, but anyway, I've written a few second person things myself outside of this original piece. If you have gone on my AO3, there is one story I have, which is a fantasy AU of Aziraphale and Crowley. As Crowley is a Naga and Aziraphale is a deer-human mix, like a centaur but for deers. Next, Fahrenheit 451 painting that I did for my project. One of the Fahrenheit 451 things that I did for my project, I loved doing this Fahrenheit 451 project. So much fun. I absolutely loved this book. I loved this book, and I loved this book, but I didn't like Great Gatsby because we also read Great Gatsby that year too. I did not care for it, but I absolutely adored Fahrenheit 451, and I was happy to be able to do a project on it, and I did this in gouache. I'd love to do more in gouache when I have the time and can actually sit down and devote my time to this. Then on to the sculptures that I did for my Fahrenheit 451 project. It was the one scene where Beatty comes to confront, what's his name? When Beatty comes to confront the main character, Guy, his name is Guy, that's so, the main character, his name is Guy. When Beatty goes to talk to Guy about him being sick and whatnot, and I loved that scene. Beatty was so confrontational and stuff, and yeah, making these guys, I made them out of air dry clay. It was kind of difficult, because, I mean, I use armatures and stuff, and I tried to use aluminum foil, but it was kind of hard. It was kind of hard to make these guys, but I'm proud of it, and my teacher got to keep the sculpture. It was one of the few things that we could do There was also pictures with my face because we had to show our face with the sculptures, but I took pictures without my face, so here. And then finally, again, for the Fahrenheit 451 project I did towards the end of junior year, is this little collage thing. And this is the collage of the scene where Beatty is running from the cameras. He's running away and running to go and be free. And I kind of did it where he's like everything is burning around him and collapsing around him, and while he's running, everything that he can think of is coming to his head. What everyone else was saying, what Beatty told him, what Clara, is that her name? Clarice, that's her name, Clarice. When, Clarice is the only person who would ever listen to him and actually got him to think about things more than just what's in front of his face. I like how this turned out. I like how I drew Guy running. And I did the other two in not acrylic, what am I talking about? I did the other two in alcohol markers. Next is the final thing from my Fahrenheit 451 project. We had to also relate ourselves to the characters in one of the slides, and I related myself to Clarice, not in the fact that I'm being bullied, but I am typically alone and whatnot, so no one really bothers with me other than people that I consider my friends. So yeah, I put myself in the classroom and drew a bunch of shadow people around me calling me slurs and calling me weird. It was a fun project, and I had to present it to the class, and it was fun. My teacher enjoyed herself. And it was also a fun project because other people brought in food and stuff. It was like a small party we had in the class, and it was towards the end of the year, so it was really nice. Next, we have a history thing that we did. We had to create song titles for the New Deal era, I think. It was during the time where music had a big effect on the people. It was the 1980s and 70s, and it was around that time, and we had to make song lists based on different reform bills that were passed at the time or that were presented at the time, and you had to make a song based on them. And then I made a little album cover. I originally really wanted to delete any evidence of me ever doing this because these are not my feelings, and I didn't want this on any of my devices, but I kept it for memory's sake because it's a thing I did. Next, we have a comic that I did for a project that we didn't actually end up fully going through with, but I wanted to finish the comic. It was for a data science project about overdoing something. I forget what the term is. Overshooting. Basically, when you do too much in data or something like that. I forget what I actually learned that year. I forget. But it was a project to represent, as a creative way to represent that. So you can just read it for yourself. I've also posted it on Instagram. It was a fun thing to draw. Okay, next are two other projects that I did. One was in my digital class, and the other one was for a book project in English class. The first one, Love That Transcends Species, was a digital visualization project that we did to print on shirts. We were doing, this time it was laser cutting, laser cutting stuff to put on shirts, and also water bottles and other stuff like that. And I did this design. I originally sketched it out in Procreate and then put it into CorelDRAW, I think, and then outlined it so that it could become a vector image. And it's me and my cat, and I really liked how the shirt turned out. I have the shirt somewhere. I just don't know where it is. I know I have it somewhere. It's somewhere around here, probably in my closet. I've worn it a few times, and I really like the shirt. And then the next is a book project that I did for English class, where at the end you had to do some sort of creative thing within your book project, and I chose to basically redraw the cover of Legends and Lattes to a different type of color, and also give it like a cute little tagline: sweet and wholesome found family story in the D&D world and D&D coffee shop AU. Well, that's literally just summarizing what it's about. But I really loved Legends and Lattes. I'm really happy that I was able to read that, because it was one of the books that had been sitting on my bookshelf for a while. Yeah, I want to read the prequel. I think it's the prequel of like Bones and something. I want to read the prequel because I really like the two main characters. Well, I think it's just the orc girl that's going to be part of the prequel book. But yeah, it was a different book than I'm used to reading, because normally with fantasy stuff it's like action. This one, it was just like a coffee shop AU, like what happens after the adventure. Next, we have a history project that I did. It was basically me summarizing the battle of... We had to pick a bunch of different battles and why we think that it was the most important battle of the Civil War. I chose the Battle of Vicksburg. You can read it if you want, but honestly, I just really like the little design I ended up doing in Canva. Yeah, Canva. I thought it turned out nice. Next, we have the finished pieces of the thumbnail sketches I showed earlier of Rosa and Rhea. They get together at the end of the story. They're lovers. They're lesbians. They had a little bit of bitchy tension going on between them in the little story we wrote. And then the second piece is when Rosa gets her ass kicked by Cain originally in the story. These were just two parts of what I had to draw. Everyone else in my group also ended up drawing some stuff. Again, I said it before, but you'll eventually get some more, like at least a short of the drawings that I did for these two, because I have footage for it. I just need to put it together. And finally, the last piece that I will be talking about is the third piece that I did for my school's magazine. It is a statue of Rosa, and it looks so cool. I'm so happy with how this ended up turning out, and I absolutely love the background. I pulled up a reference for the background and tried to copy it as best as I could, and I absolutely adore it. And I know for a fact that this one got in the magazine, because one of my pals had told me. I am so happy with how this ended up turning out. This is the one that ends up going in the magazine. I also have other like variations. It's like slight variations. One has like the sunbeams across Rosa's face, and so like it like kind of blurs her face a little bit. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoy this video, and because this is the end. So pretty much all I have to say. Hope you guys enjoy this part 2. I should be getting this out very, very soon. And you guys, the next video, I will say, the next video, if I can get my ass in gear and actually get to doing the video, is going to be a little birthday animation for my 18th birthday. It's going to be It Boy by BB No Money with me, who's turning 18. I'm going to be the It Boy instead, because I really like that song. I also want to do more animations, because like the E.T. one, I have so much fun doing those animations. They are tedious, however, and can take a while. So that's what I really mean, is if I just need to get my ass in gear to be able to do it. But yeah, if I do everything, it'll come out on my birthday, which, if you didn't know, is May 25th. I don't know exactly what time I will try and put it out, probably in the morning like I normally do, between like 10 and 11 a.m. But yeah, that is everything from me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and have a fantastic rest of your day. Make sure you do all the YouTube stuff down below if you want to continue supporting me, especially as I'm going to be a little guy going into college. Oh my god, of course, at least this is the outro. I apologize if you hear a bunch of screaming and stuff in the background. Their kids are playing outside with motorbikes. But yeah, I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.